What's going on, you guys? This is Dominic sharing a real quick tip on what you can do to overcome porn, masturbation, or even sex addiction. Pretty much just anything that's dealing with addiction. If you just do this right here, you start with this step right here, it will help you. But first, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Now, what's the tip? The reason that a lot of you all aren't overcoming and you really want to overcome is because of pride. Doesn't sound deep, doesn't sound really important. That's a big one. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, that's the beginning of why a lot of people, or that's the beginning and the end. And that's pretty much why a lot of people continuously struggle because they're prideful. And what do I mean in particular? The Bible says this, that God gives grace to the humble and he resists the proud. A proud person is one that has an issue, and as opposed to them admitting they have the issue, they don't say anything because they're worried about what other people think. They're worried about their position. They're worried about their status in society. And here they are, and in particular, a lot of Christian people saying, "Well, God, help me overcome this." You know, and well, number one, a lot of people that are really, really involved in pride, they won't even come to God at all and admit that they have a problem. But number two, the ones that eventually do come to God, they don't admit it fully. They don't really just drag down and get deep into it because it's more than likely it is because it's hurtful to them. But a lot of times it's because of their title or their position. That's why if you've seen some videos on my YouTube channel, I did a video that was talking about preachers who get caught up in sexual sin. And I said that a lot of these preachers get caught up in sexual sin because of their title and their position warrants to warrants them to the extent that they think a lot of these guys don't go to don't have a circle of friends that they can connect with and just say, hey man, I'm going through it right now. They always want to be on all the time. Folks, you have to be good on not being on all the time. And you have to have people around you that are normal and are fine with you not being on all the time. What do I mean by that? I mean, in particular, man, stop having fronts, man. Be who you are. Be the you who God called you to be. Be the authentic person. And if you don't know who that authentic person is, then seek God in worship and prayer until you find who that is, right? Many of you can't be something that you don't know because you're not seeking the manufacturer who is God to find that out. So many of you all are going through our life. You know, you one way with one set of friends, you another way with this group of people, another way with this group of people. I'm not talking about not code switching, but I'm talking about when it's a vast difference, man. Like something is wrong with that. And so what I am saying to you is this: in order for you to overcome addiction in general, you must first understand that you have to seek the manufacturer, who is God. And then the second thing is you have to be humble when you go to him and admit that you have a problem and say it's me. Let me give you a big biblical example. You have the tax collector and you have the Pharisee. Tax collectors were known as quote unquote the bad people back then, right? The tax collector came to God, or I think it was Peter went to God and they asked Jesus a question, you know, and Jesus was talking to his disciples, excuse me, and he was asking them a question. He gave the story of the tax collector and the Pharisee. The Pharisee came to God, to Jesus, and was like, you know what? Thank God, I did X, Y, Z, and thank God I'm not like the Pharisees. Basically, I got it all together. Thank God I'm not like this person. The Pharisee, the tax collector, came to him and was like, Lord, I am a sinner. I'm wrong. I know I've done wrong. Now, Jesus asked an important question that will unlock the key to you overcoming porn addiction and masturbation. He said this. He asked the disciple, he said, now which one of them will be justified? Which one of them will have the strength to overcome? Which one of them? And Jesus answered and said, the tax collector. Why? Because the tax collector came to God in a humble manner saying, I'm wrong. I'm a hot mess. I'm a sinner. I got issues. I got things in my life that need to be cleaned out. I need your help. You're the manufacturer. Help me. Help me. I'm a hot freaking mess. Help me. God, help me. And not the tax collector, because the reality is, not the Pharisee, I'm sorry, because the reality is this Pharisee was the religious leader. He was a person who was going around society, walking around like he had it all together, but yet behind closed doors, more than likely, he was just as much of a hot mess as the tax collector, but the tax collector was just real about it. Which one of them walked away justified? The tax collector. Not the person who was prim and proper, who looked the part, who had the $3,000 suit, $4,000. And I'm not knocking people that look like that, but my point is saying is many times we try to approach God based on our status in society. So if I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a pastor of a mega church, whatever the case may be, I approach, well, God, I got this status, I got all these other people looking up to me. I got all these people serving me. So then I'm going to approach you, God, the same way because I'm something to a lot of people. The, the tax collector said, Lord, I'm a sinner. Jesus said, which one of them walked away justified? That's the issue that a lot of you guys are struggling with right there. Right there. Many of you all are struggling in your life in general. This is just not even just with porn and masturbation. Please share this video. You're struggling because you're prideful. And society and culture have created a culture, if you will, not to be redundant, of arrogancy, a culture where ego takes precedence, a culture where people have the unmitigated gall, the nerve to talk about someone not being relevant, as if to say you're less than because you don't have this platform and this other person has this platform, when the book of James clearly tells us to esteem other people more than we esteem ourselves. A culture that would look down on a homeless individual and prop up a billionaire just because of his status, even though this billionaire may be a child molester or may have gotten their money through ill-gotten gains. Which one of these people will be justified? The tax collector or the Pharisee, the religious leader? If you can answer that question honestly, you're well on your way to overcoming any addiction, because that's the posture that you have to approach God, because your problem is a supernatural problem. Yes, many of you all have some of you guys could truly have chemical imbalances and stuff like that. I would never poo-poo that, right? But what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with, in particular, when you're dealing with porn addiction, and the reason you can't get over it, 9.9 out of 10 is spiritual. Depression, spiritual too, but a lot of that has natural things because of chemical imbalance. But pornography, 9 times out of 9, it is spiritual. And the way that you deal with a spiritual issue is you got to go to the manufacturer and God. And the way that you approach God is through humility. Humility unlocks the key to the spiritual realm. It unlocks the key to God's realm. I should say that. Pride unlocks the key to the demonic. Pride unlocks the key to the demonic, and that is why you keep attracting negative energy around you because of your pride. And the Bible says it like this. It says that pride comes before a fall and a haughty spirit before destruction. In other words, if you want to know where your life is going, check and see if pride is there. Pride is the ambassador for destruction. Let me say that again. If you want to know where your life is going to head, check and see if you have pride there. Because pride is the ambassador for destruction. Humility, then, is the inverse. Humility is the ambassador for not only revelation, but it's the ambassador for promotion in God's kingdom. Humility is the ambassador for promotion in God's kingdom. So, yes, I talked a lot about some success tips, but if you apply these to for what you're going through right now, I'm telling you, folks, you will go a long way in life. Wow. For more information on what you can do to overcome porn and masturbation, head over to my channel, to my page, www.pornaddictshelp.com, www.pornaddictshelp.com. There you'll get over between 5 and 8 hours of information on what you can do to overcome porn and masturbation. I love you guys. May God bless you. Peace.